Okay, is everybody ready? All right. Thank you all for coming. I have the great pleasure of introducing Julius Janikowski, Chairman of FCC.
Well, thank you all for being here this morning. I had the privilege last night at being at the memorial service for Steve Jobs in California, and it was a powerful event for an irreplaceable American hero and visionary. One of the themes that comes out so clearly from Steve Jobs' life was his focus on products that bring benefits to people, real benefits to people, that have a real positive effect on our economy. And maybe above all else, products and services that delight people. And these different themes are at the heart of what we're announcing today. Taking steps to make sure that mobile devices continue to delight every American that uses them. Communications technologies, as those of you who know, who've heard me and us at the FCC speaking about these topics, are essential to our economic recovery and long-term competitiveness. Communications technologies are also at the core of consumer products used every day by hundreds of millions of Americans, and every one of those consumers deserves to be treated fairly. Empowering consumers with the tools and information they need to navigate the rapidly changing technology landscape has been one of the Federal Communications Commission's top priorities since I became chairman. As part of our consumer empowerment agenda, we've cracked down on mystery fees on phone bills, securing record settlements. We've armed consumers with interactive tools like the broadband speed test, which has been used more than 1 million times so far. And we're close to transforming the Universal Service Fund in a way that will bring massive benefits to consumers. Building on these pro-consumer efforts, last year the FCC identified a growing problem we called bill shock and took important steps toward a solution, which led to today's victory for more than 200 million wireless consumers. This solution will give consumers the information they need to save money on their monthly wireless bills. Consistent with the FCC's ongoing efforts, these actions harness technology to empower consumers and ensure consumers get a fair shake, not bill shock. So what is bill shock? Bill shock is when wireless subscribers experience a sudden, unexpected increase in their monthly bill. Common cases are when a subscriber is charged for unknowingly exceeding plan limits for voice, text, or data, or get hits with unexpected international roaming charges. According to a 2011 survey by Consumers Union, roughly 1 in 5 Americans with cell phone plans received unexpected charges on their bills during the previous year. That amounts to tens of millions of people nationwide. At an FCC forum highlighting the problem, I met a woman who was shocked by an over $34,000 cell phone bill for international data and texting charges incurred while visiting her sister in Haiti after the 2009 earthquake. We also met a man who got an $18,000 bill after his free data downloads expired without warning. After that event, we heard from people writing in saying, hey, wait, this happened to us too. A business executive emailed to describe how he had incurred $2,000 in charges during a recent overseas trip, despite buying an international plan before the trip. Now, these are large examples. There are other examples like these, and there are many examples in the hundreds of dollars as well. In these times, obviously, these amounts of money make a real difference to real Americans trying to get through this difficult economy. The conclusion from our work was clear. Bill shock is a real consumer problem that needs to be fixed. And there are ways to do this easily and inexpensively using technology that's widely available. More specifically, what we said at the time was that to treat consumers fairly, wireless companies should take 3 steps. Send voice or text alerts to notify consumers when they approach and when they reach monthly plan limits for voice, data, and text that would result in overage charges. So 1, send an alert in advance. 2, send alerts when consumers are about to incur international roaming charges that are not covered by their monthly plans. So 2 is like 1, send alerts in advance for international plans. And 3, clearly disclose any tools that mobile providers offer to let consumers set their own usage limits and monitor their usage balances. This is particularly important because we're in a period of very healthy education of consumers when it comes to these new services. People are learning what a megabyte is and how megabytes translate to how many websites you download, how many videos you watch, but they don't know that yet. And so finding ways to help consumers understand what megabytes are, what it means to their plans is important. We know what minutes are, and we can kind of do that in our head. In addition, those were the goals that we set out for how we wanted to see wireless companies and consumers interact in this area, given the documented problem of bill shock. I'm very pleased to be here today with CTIA, representing the wireless industry, and with Consumers Union to announce that we are taking a major step to solve the problem of bill shock, and that the wireless industry will take those 3 steps to treat consumers fairly. They are moving forward with the solutions we identified. In addition, and this is important, these alerts will be offered for free and automatically with no customer opt-in required. The wireless industry's code of conduct will be revised to reflect these basic obligations and to ensure that consumers receive the alerts and notifications they need, and the FCC has been calling for. The carriers have committed to moving as expeditiously as possible to change their systems and implement these alerts. I'm grateful to CTIA and the wireless industry for stepping up, and to Consumers Union for helping ensure that the commitments will protect and empower consumers. From the start, the goal was to change practices to benefit consumers, and we have achieved that goal. Now, moving forward, the FCC will take a trust but verify approach. Because the wireless industry has taken these steps to help consumers avoid bill shock, we will put our pending rulemaking on hold. We will, however, be closely monitoring industry practices to make sure that all carriers provide this necessary information to consumers as promised. And if we see noncompliance, we'll take action. To help ensure compliance, Consumers Union and the FCC will work together to launch a new web portal on the FCC website that will allow consumers and anyone to see what types of alerts are provided by each member of CTIA, by each company in the wireless industry. This portal will allow the FCC and the public to track whether carriers have complied with their obligations. This public portal will also provide a public incentive for carriers to move quickly with implementation. Let's see carriers competing to see who can provide the best alerts, information, notification to consumers. Now, today's announcement is a big win for consumers, and I want to thank the people who made it possible. First, CTIA, for your constructive engagement and your proactive and responsible action. Innovative mobile devices benefit consumers every day, connecting families and friends, linking coworkers and clients, helping fuel economic growth, job creation, and U.S. global competitiveness. Your action today helps show that we can achieve those goals and ensure that consumers are treated fairly. And in the near future, we hope to score another victory for wireless consumers through our ongoing effort to free up spectrum for mobile broadband through voluntary incentive auctions that'll make sure that even as mobile demand goes up, we can have an invisible infrastructure that will help keep calls and connections from getting dropped or prices from skyrocketing. Second, Thank you, Consumers Union, for your leadership role in bringing this problem to the attention of the Commission and the public, for your national surveys that establish the scope of the problem, and throughout this process for your laser-like focus on making sure that we achieve real benefits for real consumers. I thank you for that. Thank you also to all the participants who contributed their ideas and research in the FCC's proceeding. I certainly want to acknowledge and thank our friends in Congress who have taken an interest in this issue and who have displayed real leadership and commitment on a whole series of consumer issues, including Senator Mark Udall, who has introduced legislation on this subject, and all of the other members of the Senate Committee on Commerce, as well as those of the House Energy and Commerce Committee for their interest in this issue on behalf of consumers. I am certain they will continue to monitor this area as we will at the FCC. And finally, thank you to the FCC staff who've worked so hard on this issue with a constant focus on doing the right thing for the American public, including those in my office, Cherise Smith. I'm looking around for Cherise. Amy Levine, who I just saw sitting next to Cherise, Jessica Almond, 3 for 3, as well as the staff of the FCC's Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau. I see at least 2 of our leaders here today, and we thank all of you. In these challenging economic times, even a small, unexpected fee on your bill at the end of the month can make a big difference. I look forward to working with all stakeholders to make sure that as we foster a thriving mobile economy that will benefit all Americans and drive real job creation, consumers are empowered and treated fairly every day. Thank you.
Well, good morning, and thank you, Chairman Janikowski. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you, Brookings Institute, for allowing us to use your facilities. It's greatly appreciated. Last week, we had our fall show in San Diego, as many of you may know. I hope some of you were able to join us on the West Coast because it really was a successful event. Our shows are the place for people to go to talk about wireless, what's happening now, and especially what we anticipate for tomorrow. But what always strikes me is the number of exhibitors and the variety of wireless products and services they provide consumers and businesses. It's everything from healthcare to education to transportation and energy. There's no question that the United States has the world's most innovative wireless industry. We have the hottest selling devices first. We have more 4G users than any other country. And as we announced it last week at our show, we now have more wireless connections in the United States than we actually have citizens. That is because our members compete against each other on everything, from coverage to speeds to customer service. But while our members compete aggressively against each other for every single customer, there are some things that we agree on as an industry. Not many, but some things. One of which is that we need more spectrum, but you've heard me talk about that already. The second is that there is a baseline framework for serving consumers that we think should be part of every provider's wireless offering. That is why we adopted our CTIA consumer code, and that is the reason why we're here today. I'm pleased to announce that once again, our consumer code is evolving to meet consumer needs. Last week in San Diego, CTIA's Board of Directors voted to add a new wireless consumer usage notification guidelines to our code. As a result, wireless providers are going to be sending free alerts to their subscribers to help them manage their usage and avoid unexpected overage charges for data, voice, messaging, and international roaming, as the chairman said. Consumers will not need to sign up to receive a free alert for each of those 4 service areas. More than 300 million U.S. wireless customers will be protected against potential billing surprises by the industry's effort to help subscribers manage their usage. Participating providers will offer their customers at least 2 of the 4 notifications for data, voice, messaging, and international roaming by October 17th, 2012, and all of the service alerts by April 17th, 2013. Of course, many of our members already offer several other account management tools, and as a part of the guidelines, wireless providers will clearly and conspicuously disclose these tools and services to continue to help consumers better manage their usage. We appreciate FCC Chairman Julius Genachowski, FCC Commissioners, the FCC's Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau, and each of their respective staffs, who provided valuable insights into our development of the Wireless Consumer Usage Notification Guidelines. I've been at CTIA since 2003, so you've often heard me and many others in Washington talk about the concerns of excessive government regulation, especially on our industry since it has such a significant impact on the economy, jobs, and our lives. Recognizing the directive from President Obama to avoid unnecessary and costly regulation, the chairman and his team worked with the industry on these guidelines that will honor his and the Commission's mandate to serve and protect consumers while avoiding costly regulation. Today's announcement with Chairman Genachowski shows that there is a different way to get things done in this city. We also thank Parul Desai and her team at Consumers Union for supporting our new guidelines. On behalf of CTIA and the wireless industry, we are proud to provide our customers with these free alerts to help them manage their usage and prevent unexpected overage charges. And now it's my pleasure to welcome Parul Desai of Consumers Union to speak. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Chairman Genachowski and Congressman Largent, for taking this initiative forward and moving forward to help consumers. Consumers Union is glad to be here today with the chairman and the FCC, as well as to be standing alongside CTIA, which, let's face it, doesn't happen very often in this town. Our magazine, Consumer Reports, has consistently found in its surveys that consumers are experiencing bill shock as a result of overcharges that they are unaware of. We have also heard from many consumers about the heavy toll of finding unexpected charges on their monthly cell phone bills, which, according to the FCC, as Chairman Genachowski pointed out, could be up to $1,000. As a result, we at Consumers Union have long been pushing for reforms to crack down on this problem. So today we are encouraged that the wireless industry is offering to provide free alerts to help consumers with bill shock. We understand that the industry has agreed to start doing this within 12 months, but we urge them not to wait and challenge each company to do it as soon as possible. We know that some carriers like AT&T, Sprint, Cox, and U.S. Cellular are already providing certain alerts, and that Verizon is also providing alerts for a fee. So we think it's possible, and consumers deserve to begin receiving free alerts now to avoid overcharges. It is especially important to provide these tools now because many consumers cannot afford these overcharges in this tough economy and difficult economy. Consumers Union is going to work together with the FCC on their website that will shine a light on industry's compliance with this code of conduct. And we're pleased that the Commission is going to keep the proceeding open to ensure that compliance continues. Ultimately, this is about helping people protect their pocketbooks. And so we applaud FCC and CTIA's members for this effort to do right by consumers, and we encourage and challenge the rest of the industry to soon follow suit. Thank you.
Thank you all. This concludes the program.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
First off, after who does this apply to? All the major carriers? Does it apply like Cricket or some of the other emerging carriers?
My understanding is that it applies, I don't know where Steve, Steve, it applies to all CTIA members.
Okay, and you said that the FCC will do something if the carriers don't comply. What will the FCC do? What can the FCC do if they do not comply?
Well, we expect compliance. If there is no compliance, we'll take appropriate action. What happens in that world, we'll see, but neither of us think that it will happen. There's a commitment here to do something that's a win-win for the companies and consumers, and we expect to see these commitments carried out.
Would you have to complete the rulemaking that's open now to take action? I don't understand where the FCC has the authority to take action on a voluntary agreement.
Brooks, if there's non-compliance with these commitments, we will take appropriate action. And I think the CTIA understands that there's no upside to not following through with these commitments. Would you agree?
I would just say that we've had a consumer code in place for 8 years. We started our consumer code when I first came to CTIA, and we've never had any compliance issues with any of the items that are on our consumer code, and we don't think there'll be any compliance issues with this particular addition to our code anyway.
I think that's something you'd have to ask the members who've introduced the legislation. I think that all of us involved in this are confident that the steps that we wanted the industry to take for consumers will be taken. Right now what we're calling for is implementation of these guidelines. They meet the needs that serve consumers. And we're all going to focus our attention on helping, making sure it happens, and providing this portal that will make visible the rate of progress. Again, it's a win-win for everyone.
Why is it going to take so long? You said some of the companies are already doing it, the technologies are in place. Why do consumers have to wait a year or a year and a half for this to be in place?
Well, I would just say it's not easy to do. It's not simple to notify our customers of all 4 different in 4 different areas of those kinds of alerts. Those are not easy to do, especially when you're talking about over 300 million people in this country. So it's not easy to do. There's systems that have to be changed, and the chairman, the FCC, we came to an agreement on how long would be reasonable. I would tell you that, for example, we announced at our show that there was an agreement that we had made to introduce to attach the phones to rechargers, that we've implemented that particular proposal 3 months ahead of schedule. My anticipation is that it'll be implemented before those deadlines, but we have those deadlines in place to ensure that all carriers are moving forward with this.
And I would second that. I think what we'll see by virtue of how this is being implemented, including the open and transparent website, I think we'll see competition among carriers on the basis of providing the best service to consumers. To come back to the Steve Jobs idea, we're going to see, as a result of this, more competition from carriers to really delight consumers in every aspect of what they do, including how the charges work and whether the alerts meet the needs that obviously consumers have. So I think we've set this topic on an excellent course, and I'm very optimistic about the rollout that we'll see. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate it. See you later.